Hey guys, Amar here from C4E Tech, and today we are taking a look at a brand new POCO device. This is the POCO M3, the successor to the budget M2, and the most striking feature about it, that's this camera bump. We'll talk more about that and a whole lot more in today's video. But first, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to C4E Tech. And oh, if you did enjoy this video, drop us a like and hit that bell icon as well. It really helps us out a lot. Okay, so we promised we'd talk about the camera bump, so let's start there. Does these two seem awfully familiar? Well, the first time I saw the leaks, and trust me, there were a lot of those, I immediately yelled out, "Hey, that's the OnePlus Cyberpunk edition." I mean, even the logo placement, it's the same. What isn't the same though are the camera modules themselves. We have a 48 megapixel primary camera, and along with that, POCO has thrown in a couple of 2 megapixel snappers. They're the usual depth and macro sensors. So there's no ultra-wide snapper in here, which is a bit of a bummer. But given that POCO is supposedly launching the base variant of the M3 here in India at a sub 10k price point, I guess it's kinda okay. I mean, to be fair, there are Realme phones that do offer an ultra-wide camera at a similar price point, so POCO really has to step the rest of their game up if they want the M3 to make a mark. And well, step up they have, especially in the battery department. We have a massive 6000 mAh unit in here, which should make the POCO M3 the longest lasting phone for its price range. It's even got support for 18-watt fast charging, and the charger is included in the box itself. Now, a big battery equals a big footprint, and the M3 is a chonky boy, over 9mm thick. Thanks to the all-plastic build though, POCO has managed to keep the weight under 200 grams, and there's a nice textured finish to the back that should make it easier to wield. As for the finishes, the M3 comes in 3 colors: Power Black, Cool Blue, POCO Yellow. The black almost has a fall leather look to it. Overall, the POCO M3 has a really unique look to it. Nothing what we'd expect from a run-of-the-mill budget phone. Now, having a large footprint does give POCO one advantage. They were able to fit in a 6.53-inch IPS panel in here. The bezels are really tiny, with a reported screen-to-body ratio of over 90%. Up top, we have the dot drop notch, holding the 8 megapixel selfie camera. Coming back to the panel itself, POCO hasn't cheaped out here and gone for a 720p display. Instead, we have a Full HD Plus panel with Widevine L1 and TUV Rhineland blue light certification right out of the box. Adding to the media experience are dual speakers. Yeah, one on top and another at the bottom. My only wish? I hope POCO had found some way of adding a 90Hz panel in here. Unfortunately though, the M3 is limited to the standard 60Hz. Pushing all those pixels, we have the Snapdragon 662. Backing it up is 4GB of LPDDR4X RAM and 64 or 128GB of UFS 2.2 internal storage. That's not all, we also have a dedicated microSD card for added expandability. And along with that, we have an IR blaster, a headphone jack, the power button to the right, that's got the fingerprint scanner integrated right into it. Coming back to the performance front though, the Snapdragon 662 doesn't benchmark as highly as the Helio G80 or G85 that we find in many of the competitors. But POCO claims that it does at least beat out the Snapdragon 665 when it comes to Antutu scores. But real world performance? Well, that's something we can only talk about once we do get our hands on the device. Oh, I almost forgot about it. As far as gaming goes, that's handled by the Adreno 610 GPU. So this is the POCO M3. On paper, the performance is middling. The display isn't anything out of the ordinary. We are lacking an ultra-wide angle camera. The only USP here is a 6000 mAh battery. And maybe the software. That is, if you love MIUI 12. And if you do, then the POCO M3 offers an ad-free experience right out of the gate. For that, POCO is charging the US market $149. Converted, that's around 11,000 INR. And that's for the 464GB variant. The higher 128GB variant, that costs $20 more. Converted, that's around 12,500 rupees. Now, they are offering the POCO M3 at $20 off for the Black Friday sale, meaning $129 for the base and $149 for the higher end. Now, traditionally, the Indian pricing for at least POCO phones have always been a little lower than the US pricing. And as I mentioned earlier, leaks point towards the M3 being launched here in India at under 10k. That's at least for the base variant. So the Black Friday special sale price of $129, well, that converts to around 9,500 rupees. Well, that's what we might see the POCO M3 launch in India at. So guys, here's my question to you. What do you think of the pricing? And what do you think of the POCO M3 as a whole? Are you interested in it? Would you buy a POCO M3, or would you rather go for something like, say, the Redmi 9 Prime? Or hey, maybe even spend a little bit extra and get something like the Realme 7i. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, like, share, subscribe. I know, if you haven't hit that bell icon yet, go ahead, do it now. Thanks a lot for watching till the end, guys. Have a good one. Cheers.